Farm for Profit podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit podcast.
All right, boys, everybody, John Deere booth, second day, Commodity Classic 2023 down here in Orlando. Still not seeing any snow.
It's very nice.
That's very nice. Yes.
It's snowing back home.
It is. But this is going to be a great episode here. We're going to explore some of the new technologies available in agriculture and something that's been continuing to grow. Listeners, you may remember back, I think almost a year ago, I want to say it almost was National Farm Machinery Show time period, when we first learned about Bushel. And we here today have Kelly to tell us more about this. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. I'll let her jump on that herself and do the introduction side. So why don't you let everybody know who you are?
My name is Kelly Livernoy. I'm the director.
Oh, that's an easy. That was way easier than what it looks.
The S, you don't have to worry about it. It's scary, but you don't have to worry about it. Yep, Kelly Livernoy, director of farm success for Bushel. I actually came over to the Bushel team through the Farm Logs acquisition in May of 2021. So it's been a fun ride so far, and Bushel's really focused on just taking out the manual processes that are from farm to almost to the table. So anything throughout the grain supply chain that is currently manual paperwork, we really enjoy being able to digitize that.
So let's do a little bit more about Kelly. So you came over in the acquisition, but what did you do prior to that? What's your tie to agriculture?
Yeah, so actually I joined Farm Logs in 2016, and so worked closely with farmers throughout the whole time there, mostly in the kind of customer success role of how to adopt technology and best ways to use it, and how is this going to make me, any money, and what should I do where. So that's what I was doing from 2016 on, and that's what I'm still, really focused on, is just making sure that the farmers can easily use the app. And now with Bushel, there's so much more that we can do and automate, and that's really what we're focused on. So, yeah.
Nice. Very good. So today, we're here to help our listeners understand that there are resources available to help run your farm, help track, maintain. Tell us a little bit about what all Bushel can offer. First of all, we need to get in contact with their outfit coordinators, because we don't have anything that cool.
Yeah.
The flannel, the vest. We were talking about wanting vests this point. Sorry, I had to bring that up as well. But yes, tell us a little bit more about all the offerings that Bushel has, and then we'll dive deeper into each one of them.
Sounds good. Yeah, we really touched the whole grain supply chain. So Bushel has always focused on the grain elevator and the farmer relationship, and so they specialize in integrating with the grain elevator's ERP, so the accounting system that houses all the scale ticket, grain contract, settlement, input invoices. And they serve that up in a digital app that allows farmers to see. It's going to have the actual name of the app would be the co-op or elevator, but the data or the software behind it is actually Bushel.
Okay.
For over 2,000 grain facilities over the United States and Canada. And so that allows farmers to see their grain contracts on the go anytime they need to, how much they have delivered on that contract, what scale tickets are in. I was talking to a farmer this morning. He was like, I can't tell you how nice it is that I don't have to call and check on, what the weight was, how many bushels are actually on that load. I can just check my phone as soon as he's, dropped off. So the efficiency and the ease of use and just the amount of time that gives a farmer back in the day is really important. So
that's exciting. I know right away in my family operation that just finding scale tickets,
oh my gosh,
some days is a battle, and this already provides an ease of use, and a way to stay organized and tracked. We had an email come in, I'll say about 2 or 3 months ago, that said, I remember you doing an interview with somebody about keeping track of your scale tickets. He was sitting down to do accounting, to go meet with his CPA to do tax filing, and he just, what was that? So we found the episode number, sent it back over. It's a big deal. It's a headache.
Yeah,
that would be what it is.
Well, and I'm thinking about these scale tickets because, like, my brother or my dad or hired guy or myself, we all put it in like a different spot, and it's got to go to one spot to get put in. Now this is all available to you at the touch of your fingertips.
And scale tickets is one thing. Grain contracts and being able to e-sign those, so you're not having to wait for the mail and back and forth.
Terrible.
And we all know how reliable that can be. So, just getting the contract on your phone, signing it off. You know what you have booked. So
it's like a DocuSign. Is it your own DocuSign?
Nope. We actually use a third-party service, but it's all served up within the same application.
Okay.
Yep.
I know Dave uses that in his
real estate, definitely.
real estate business.
Changing game, all at the speed of technology, and here at Commodity Classic, we're seeing a ton of technology. So, from tractors to planters to sprayers, and now to where your bushels are going.
Yep. Software. So, there's a lot of other capabilities in that application too. You can make an offer. You can put it in if you're out at the kids' game 8 o'clock at night and you realize that your markets are where you want them, and you want to go ahead and put in that, and so it hits the next day or whenever the market's open, you're ready to do that. Wow. Yeah, so automating that process and making it just more efficient and available to the farmer and the grain buyer relationship at any point in time.
What if you integrate with other software, and Corey and his brother and his uncle and the hired man, and they all might have used it, but maybe my wife is the one that is actually putting it all together. Can I export CSV files? Can I export into other programs? Like, do you work cohesively with all different colors?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and I should really clarify the Bushel mobile app that we offer to the grain elevator. That's really then offered to the farmer through them. So that's kind of that one-to-one relationship.
Okay.
And then Bushel Farm is the software that I represent, and what that is more the centralized system for all these different grain buyers. So it's kind of like I call it the mint.com. So where you're bringing your whole portfolio together. If you do business with 3-4 different buyers, and let's just say 3 of the 4 maybe are on Bushel, that means that all of that information can land almost automated here at the end of this year into the central location. So it's less manual entry, similar to how we also connect to John Deere and bring in the field records and put the financials on top of that for the farmer to get down to the field level profitability. We're going to be automating the side of the grain contracts. So just same type of concept there.
Right. So she said mint.com. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. Are you familiar with what Mint does?
No.
So my best understanding of Mint is if you've got 2 or 3 different credit cards and a couple of different bank accounts and different things for your personal finances, that's one place that you go and you can see all of them in one spot.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So when she was saying there's a lot of different, if you work with different grain buyers, which Corey, you do,
yep,
we do, that provides you an opportunity, which I was not aware of, to be able to just see it all in one spot.
Yes. So, for 4+ years now, we've had a pretty intuitive grain marketing feature within Bushel Farm. Previously, farm logs. A lot of people, we're gonna get the switch over here, and they've been entering their contracts on their own, or maybe they work with a partner, or they work with a grain advisor that helps them enter those. But what that really does is help them understand what they have booked, where, how many bushels, what does that mean for how many bushels you have left to sell, and then we bring in the market price so they can see the value of those bushels. We send price alerts when the market moves up or down by 2% to kind of give them that nudge on, it might be time to sell. So at that point, they can open up the app they have with their grain buyer through Bushel and make an offer. And
so you can sign contracts on there. Can you make a sale on there?
Yeah. Yep. So the make offer feature is if the grain buyer does allow or open that up to their farmers, they can, make an offer right there.
So tech question for you, and maybe I don't know because I haven't used it. This might be integrated already, maybe a good idea for you. Does it do any kind of mileage tracking? We're trying to level in every layer for profitability as I'm trying to figure out how far he had to travel to XYZ to the market. Will it track when his brother's going using the app and the GPS in our phone?
Not yet, but that is a great idea. You're right.
Yes. And then the integration part of now Bushel Farm is an interesting next level, because not only were you saving the farmer time with the initial part of Bushel, now you've added this integration too. So what are some of the benefits to the farmer if they use that?
Yeah, so we've been on the market since 2011. The FarmLogs was co-founded in Michigan in 2011, and so we've built a really great user base. We have about 50,000 people using it each month. They can do everything from map their fields and add their crops to just stay organized. What crop do you have on what field? Look at it on a map. And then also then there's field level rainfall. There is the grain marketing feature. There's you're tracking your activities, bringing them from deer, others, or adding your own if you need to. And then bringing all that together in that profit and loss feature is just extremely impactful, because right now there's oftentimes farmers are trying to do it on a spreadsheet, figure it out themselves, or maybe they're got 15 different versions. This one works better than this one, but I forgot when I updated it last, so getting back to it. So it's a living, breathing system that they can really just help keep track of their day-to-day. It's always available to them. It's in their pocket. So, if they're hopefully on vacation in the winter, they can check on things, if they need to back at home, and they don't have to worry about getting back to their desk to do stuff.
So, guys, the first time that the reason I downloaded Farm Logs first a long time ago was when I started being more active on my in-laws' farm. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know where Martha's 80 was or where the Phelan 60 is, and I just went into Farm Logs, pulled up the map, put in the nickname of the farm, and then I could pull up, and he said, oh, yeah, go to Phelan's 80. I could zoom in, this is the one that's on this street, and I could go and find this place. Because, I grew up with Mom and Dad. We knew exactly what the field name was and where it was to go. But what I didn't realize is I could have shared that.
Yeah.
Correct? What I created, it didn't have to just be mine.
No.
I could have shared that with new employees who are struggling with the same thing I was.
You can have as many users on the same account with you at different access levels too. So, there's an admin position where you have all the financials and stuff, but there's also the contributors that can take your scouting notes and add your activities or your harvest loads, whatever you'd like them to do. They can be on there with you, and there's actually a navigation button these days. So you can even do the start navigation, and it'll bring up your maps and take you right there too.
Well, see, now I know what the field names are. I haven't been in the app for a little while. This is a renewed interest.
Yeah. Are you tracking the financials too, or?
No, I have not. No, but I'm looking forward to that. This is fun.
Yeah.
What kind of footprint are you running? Are you only in corn, soybean, wheat country, or?
No, we actually have a really large following in Texas. So we've got a lot of cotton growers, and we can really be impactful on any type of crop. So I work closely with some pecan growers in Georgia too. One of our really active customers is in Australia. There's really no boundaries to where you can use Bushel Farm.
And how does Bushel get paid? Is that from the co-ops or is it from the farmer?
So the Bushel Farm has always been a direct-to-farmer self-subscription. So you can download the app, create an account, and select what features you'd like to use. There's bundles there, and it's one of the most cost-effective on the market. So we have a lot of growers just doing that self-subscription. And then Bushel Mobile and some of the other features that we talked about, like making an offer to your grain buyer, that is offered through the cooperative or elevator ethanol plant.
And what if his co-op's not on the system yet? How do we get him on it?
Well, stop on by. we have a team of folks that reach out, obviously, to the people who aren't on us and try to talk to them about why it makes a lot of sense. We have a lot of farmers these days asking for that from their grain elevator. If that can take another pain point out of their day, then can you please take a look at this, because it's obviously a really big efficiency for them.
It's an interesting format to go about doing things that we used to all do manually with paper. Mm-hmm. And now you can do it in the palm of your hand. Now, if this is somebody listening right now to this podcast that I don't know if I'm a big fan of apps, or the only app that I really open up is TikTok and YouTube, whatever it is it difficult to set up?
We've always been known, I would say, as like the easiest to use app. We've done a really hard job of keeping it simple for folks to use, because we know that there's a lot of complicated things out there, and manual entry is never the brightest part of the day. But so we've tried to just make it super intuitive and easy, and I hear that from everybody I talk to. All my farmers that I get to communicate with, they're always like, it's just so easy. I want to come in here and report out of things.
Yeah.
So you just asked Tanner about financials. Man, my dad does not like the internet. He will not put his credit card in there,
right?
Because just stored information. What's like the security to this whole deal. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't get my dad to buy something on Amazon.
Right. No, I understand. And that's okay. There's some folks that don't want to, but they do like to track their field boundaries and some other information, some of the, maybe scouting notes and dropping pins and stuff. They're happy with that. But data is Loctite. We have, a lot of customers on the Bushel network that rely on us to keep that information secure.
Okay.
So we are, I don't know if I'm able to say I have SOC 2 compliant or on our way to really strengthening that system. So we have a team dedicated to making sure that we are super secure with data. And we're an independent company, so the data is, the farmers.
So it's the farmers. It's
Yes.
not getting sold to
No.
anyone else.
No.
She said scouting notes and dropping pins. What do you use now?
For scouting?
Yep.
Oh.
Do you type notes into anything?
I use John Deere Ops.
Okay.
For most of my scouting.
And if he does that, that feeds in?
So the field activities or operations, your fertilizing, your rates, your acres, that kind of stuff is coming in automatically to Bushel Farm from John Deere. Nice. So the scouting note's not quite. And we certainly have people using, both systems for whatever they're comfortable in.
So is it a direct API?
It is.
Okay, so it's not I have to download it, then re-upload it into a new system.
No.
Okay.
So underneath the connections in your John Deere Operations Center, you'll find Bushel Farm there. And then, or if you're starting in Bushel Farm, you'll find it in your integration section to make that quick connection.
So for people who don't know what you just said.
Yes, I figured they wouldn't.
What is that?
Just a direct connection. Advanced protocol integration is what I believe it stands for. It just means that they talk to each other seamlessly without me having to do any work.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
Beautiful.
Because farmers don't like cumbersome stuff.
No, that's why I asked. If you're making me have to pull it all out of here and put it all over here, that stinks. As we all connect together, the connectivity is going to, everybody's got great technology and all through Commodity Classic here. As we connect them together and they all cohesively work together, it'll be better.
Because you're pulling harvest data also.
Yep.
And that's when you were talking about the P&L side of things.
Yes.
So you now get to that step of things. Obviously, there's data entry throughout the process in order to get the most accurate information, because that would be my issue, is I get behind on inputting the information. But in Bushel Farm, are receipts automatically put in? How's that record keeping look?
Yeah, we have dreams to automate as much as we can. We'd obviously need everybody to move along that and offer these things called APIs too. So, but with, Bushel tying into the grain accounting software, we do have, that capability. There's input invoices already in the Bushel mobile app quite a bit for these co-ops. And so that is something else that we do plan to bring into Bushel Farm automatically. Today it is a manual entry. Once again, we try to make it super easy, so it's like 4 fields. You can pick from a list that we already populate all the inputs that are available to us to do, or you can add your own if it doesn't happen to be in there. And then, how much did you buy for what? And then we take and do all the kind of math behind the scenes on what does that mean on a unit price and the rate that you used and, when you planted or did a fertilizing activity, what does that mean for the actual cost on that activity for the amount used?
What kind of future do you see? You've changed, you've upgraded, you moved, you added features that Tanner didn't even know about yet. What's the next outlook for the next 2 or 5 years?
Yeah, so I think
any cool spoilers you can tell us?
Yeah, so Bushel in general, is a machine when it comes to pushing out fun, innovative software. So Bushel Wallet is a newer product that we launched last year, and what that is basically money movement for the grain industry. So similar to ACH, but it actually lands into a Bushel Wallet account where you can connect multiple bank accounts and move money pretty easily between that. And then you also have the card physically that you can pay for gas or whatever you need to with that too. So the fintech side of things with Bushel. And then in Bushel Farm specifically, just, automating as much as we can and taking the manual entry out of things. So grain contracts, bringing that in, I think we'll be the only farm management software that's ever been able to do that, given the Bushel network we can. So that's going to be really exciting, and then we'll find different data points. We really build with the farmer in mind. We have a large research group of about 500 farmers that tell us what they want and how they want it. And so we consult with them to say, okay, what do you think's next? What's going to help you? What's going to take out your manual process. So.
Mileage tracking is what I heard.
I did hear that. Gonna have to get you on that list of 500.
I think so.
So there was a press release that had come out. Now I can't remember if it was a couple weeks ago, whichever it was, that mentioned the Columbia Grain International (CGI).
Mm-hmm.
Can you expand as to what that brings to the table and what that new? Because it's a new update, correct? It's a partnership.
So they actually they launched with Bushel Mobile. So they are now offering their application, and Bushel is the software behind that. So so when you talk about seeing your Columbia contracts and scale tickets in a mobile application,
that's what our local elevator would do. Is something like they did.
Correct.
Is work with you, use the software that side, and it comes out on their branding.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So you would open the Columbia Grain app, and all of your information would show up, and it's really kind of Bushel behind the scenes.
Two-part question, and I ask anybody this: is there other people in your space? Is there other software that does the same thing?
Yeah.
So if there is, what makes you better? Why do I pick Bushel?
Yeah. So I think being in market since 2011, we have launched and also retired features along that way, and so we have a really curated list of features that we offer, and it's kind of pretty well rounded, mapping your fields and getting your field level rainfall all the way down to field level profitability. It's kind of a one-stop shop.
Okay.
We see a lot of guys checking the rain and the markets at the same time, all within the same application, instead of having to maybe pull up a few different. And so I would say that's definitely one thing I hear a lot, is just I don't have to do as much. And then the automation and the ease of use. So I oftentimes hear, it's just so easy. And I think that's why we have, 50,000 people a month on it, checking
50,
in.
50,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah, and more.
It's
and
almost
peak
as
season.
many listeners as we have.
It is.
Hopefully we'll be getting.
Hopefully it goes up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is.
We could add podcast
That's
button
what
to
I'm
your
wondering.
app. That's
There
what
you
we
go.
there is.
Tied
Yeah, I
right
think
in.
there's
Like,
something we can
got
do
my
here. I
grain
think
markets. Got
Yeah.
my Farm for Profit podcast.
mileage is
The best time to listen to podcasts when you're hauling grain.
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It really is.
So yeah, I think those things are a really big differentiator, and the like I said, the automation, the grain contracts coming in is going to be the only system that can do that. So
That's great. This is exciting technology to share. Corey, is this something that you think you'd download?
Yeah, anything that makes my life easier. And it's easy. I mean, it can't be cumbersome.
I can't. Okay, so is my app going to, is the icon on my phone
yep,
that says farm logs, is that going to update?
it should already.
Oh, it should.
It should have done that last week, so we should check it out. But yeah, it's now Little Barn, Bushel Farm. And if you were to search the stores, the Google Play Store, App Store, you can still, search for farm logs if you're missing it, and it'll pop up because they're kind of related there. But it should be the Bushel Farm app on your phone now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Guys, I think the common theme that we're hearing all of last few years, especially since COVID and moving forward, is what commodity can we help folks do better with? Time. Time. Everybody I've talked to here at the show has something new upgraded to help save our most precious commodity, and that's time. Yep. So as you watch all innovators move forward, I think that'll be key.
I didn't even realize it had.
That's great. It's nice and yellow now.
It did get updated.
It's
Yeah, there it is.
It's right underneath my
Yeah.
fitness app.
Isn't that good?
That one doesn't get used very often either.
We're going to move it to the front screen.
Not down here.
Matches her shirt and everything. Look
Yeah,
at
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so the time thing we hear a lot about, especially on the Bushel side of thing, and bringing technology and the app into the grain elevator and farmer relationship. We hear a lot about labor shortages, and the elevator has a hard time finding people.
Yeah.
And so this actually takes a lot of the calls that they would have to, stop what they're doing and go, answer the things that are now answered with the app, right? How much do I have on this contract left, and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So there is a lot of efficiency and time saving there.
And there's a lot of skepticism in agriculture to where it's not that you don't trust the elevator, but you definitely want to make sure every bushel's accounted for and something doesn't get missed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just like you said,
Checks and balances, yeah.
Yep. You dumped, you weighed out, maybe it's on your drive home. Probably shouldn't have the app open on your drive home, but you can look right away and see that it's already been applied.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Do we miss anything else?
I do say, there's a lot about sustainability out there these days. We have tools at Bushel that can help make that easier on the farmer. So if they do want to participate in a sustainability program, you can move your information pretty seamlessly from farm logs to do that. Oh, Bushel Farm to do that. And
how hard is that going to be for you just to say Bushel Farm?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. We had fly swatters, and I think I have to get hit every time I do it, or else I'm not gonna learn. That seamless, once again, information. You should be able to do what you want with it once it's in there, right? Once you've done, and so it's really about the ease of use after it's in there as well. So whether it's reporting to the FSA or a crop insurance or a landowner, you already are tracking all this information in the central location, so use it, right? And so with that, the sustainability stuff, we have an API into some of them where you can move your field boundaries and the things that are required. They want to know what you fertilized and what you sprayed, and so those things can move pretty easily. Or you can report it out. So if you're in another, maybe the traceability or food grade programs, those are really impactful. Our organic growers are absolutely, like in there every day, keeping things nice and updated because their certifier relies on that.
I got one more question. I know we talked about linking to John Deere Ops and how things talk really well. If I'm a farmer and I want to download this app and I have John Deere Ops, how do I get? Is there just a button in John Deere Ops that
both
links them up?
Yep. So once you create an account and you're in there, you're going to see in the settings there's an integration section where you can just hit the connect button. All it is your login credentials for John Deere. You give the allow the information to move, the OK consent button, and you're connected.
Another password.
So yeah, you nailed that.
Security, data privacy. It's important.
Security, yes.
So if I don't use a semi to hold a town, and I'm double usage of my tractor and I'm still hauling grain wagons, is it on, do I have to use it on a phone, or can I use it on the screen in my tractor?
That's a great question. It's a mobile-based and web-based platform. So it really is on a phone or desktop most of the time, tablet as well, but monitor likely not.
Okay.
Yeah. But the fact that you're tracking everything in Deere, and then it's coming over, whatever's in the monitor is coming over automatically, so you don't really have to think about it.
I was just thinking bigger text.
Yes.
Zoom in.
Bigger text.
That's what we forgot to ask the Deere guys yesterday, was if there's a zoom feature on the new
zoom
gen.
in?
No, it's so big now.
That's right. Kelly, this has been a pleasure, and I think our listeners understand that this is an exposure to a technology to make their jobs easier, to streamline a lot of the parts that our listeners don't like doing.
Yeah.
It's fun to see the evolution of Bushel and the merger acquisition of farm logs to where now as Bushel Farm with the new app
logo
icon
and icon.
The how that process is going to make someone's life easier as it goes through. So to kind of summarize what we talked about today, Bushel itself is an all-encompassing company that allows you to kind of take data from the field through harvest. You can integrate with a lot of different elevators. It obviously connects to John Deere's Ops Center. It's mobile or web-based. You can track everything from field boundaries to crops to rainfall to drop-in pins. Ultimately becomes a tool in the palm of your hand that our listeners could go and dive into. And it's free to download. Then there's packages within for our listeners to explore. So if you want to go take a look at it, you can go look at it. Get yourself signed up. Check it out.
Yeah.
Did I do all right?
If you're here, we would love to talk to you. At booth 1431. I want to show you. That's for sure.
Okay.
And come get your account set up. I'm happy to help. I spend a lot of my days on the phone or Zoom with farmers. Just hey, what should I do with this field? Should I split it? Should I do this? And so we talk through a lot of that. And then we have an awesome support team that sits in Fargo and helps out too, phone and email. So
if they want to reach out to you, is it bushel.com? What's the website?
Bushelfarm.com. So, yep. Yep. And so you'll find on there's a sign up button, there's a login button, there's our number. So please do reach out. We'd love to help you out. I know, Farm for Profit. So we should talk maybe slightly about how people are actually doing that. And I just a couple stories, I guess, is the, field level profitability, tracking that, making a decision on whether or not you think it's best to maybe keep the land, take the increase, or what that might mean for you if you can see on a field level. And then there's also other features in there I didn't even mention, like satellite imagery. And I had a farmer tell me last week, he's like, my neighbor, you had your imagery last year, saved $7,000 and yield loss that I would have saved $7,000 in yield loss if I would have had it, and we didn't realize until after the fact that we both had the same pest issue. But so it's that kind of like payback that you can see too, and there's just a lot in there. That's the efficiency, but there's some direct things that you could really make an impact on. So yeah, come see us at 1431. I'd love to show you, or reach out bushelfarm.com. And thank you for having me. This has been fun.
What do you challenge the listeners with today?
I challenge you to just be open to this technology. I mean, we're kind of slow in some areas to adopt new things. Some areas we're fast, but this technology is cool. So download it. I'm really excited about it for the contracts side of things because I hate the mail.
Me too.
So
me too.
I like that. So challenge you.
Well, this is good. Thank you so much, Kelly Livernoy. Just like Des Moines, you don't say the S.
That's right.
We appreciate you having on. Listeners, we appreciate you listening. And until next time, have a good one.